Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a smashing Monday and a great start to your weeks. Today, we're going to be diving into the cryptocurrency market at large. We're also going to be crossing over into the realms of traditional finance and also taking a look at global events as they all play a role in a more mature cryptocurrency market. What do I mean by more mature? Well, cryptocurrency as a market is on its way to establishing itself within the global balance, the global financial balance of things. And with that, you get growing pains, you get teething problems, etc., etc. And we're experiencing all this at the moment. There's uncertainty across the board for markets. You know, we have lived in unprecedented times for the past 2 years. And this has, of course, played an effect on crypto, on Bitcoin, March 2020 over here. And you can see really, this entire run, this kind of run all the way up to 64K was really due to the inflationary pressures that this had, given the fact that they essentially had to stimulate the economy and stop it from crashing, which isn't what it would have naturally done. And this is a trick Federal Reserve, banks across the world, central banks across the world are going to play continuously. And we are going to get into that in this video. We're going to be revisiting the fact that Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is going to taper bond buybacks. He's also going to start tackling inflation. I would issue that this is a empty promise. They can only do so much to tackle inflation. They can't stop it. Inflation is here to stay, and that is one of the real value propositions with Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. We have got so much content coming out for you this week. We didn't get a lot out last week just because we had a lot going on. I had family visiting, etc., etc. And it's always important to take time out. You guys know that I have a business. I also manage my own fund, etc. So we're going to be talking about the fact that CPI. We covered this briefly last week. Inflation surges to 6.8 in November, even more than expected. 2 fastest rates since 1982. What does this all mean? Well, this means, in my opinion, that people made the right choice with Bitcoin, and they're going to continue to make the right choice in my opinion. So you had Jerome Powell saying this, that he's going to start tapering inflation. At the same time, this is my Twitter, by the way, those of you that want to follow me, All in Crypto, it's at real All in Crypto is my actual Twitter. You've got Joe Biden saying that he's going to up the debt limit, so up the debt ceiling, meaning they can take out more debt, as if they haven't already taken out more or enough debt. That's in direct contrast to what Jerome Powell is saying, and this is what I mean. There's only so much they can do. You can't stop. The floodgates are open for inflation, and the dollar is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker over time, with relative strength periods here and there, and that's kind of what you're seeing at the moment. So let's get into it all. Well, the cryptocurrency market, we had a kind of weekend pump. You should never trust weekend pumps. They often lead to Monday dumps. Markets are very low volume on the weekend. Markets as a whole, crypto right now is low volume. So it's not taking a lot for these markets to get kind of thrown around. Bitcoin, we tackled in yesterday's video. This is the total turn. So many people, you get every time there's a sell-off, you get the same people showing up saying that we're in a bear market. It's absolute madness to call for that just now. There's no confirmation of that. This, since March 2020, has just been a uptrending market, and we're still uptrending today, ladies and gentlemen, until we start to put in a lower low and lower highs. You can see here we've just got higher highs and higher lows. This is an uptrending market, especially when you look at something like Ethereum. You've got people calling for a bear market when Ethereum looks like that. Yes, short term perhaps. We are in a bit of a downtrend on some of these cryptos. But ultimately, just like the floodgates are already open in inflation, the floodgates are open with the mass migration over to cryptocurrency, the new financial system, if you will, or certainly something that's going to play a role in the new financial system. And very quickly before we go on, please, and we've been saying this over the last couple of days, watch the congressional hearing on cryptocurrencies where they interview the CEOs, they testify before lawmakers on digital assets. This is going to really reveal to you, and we're going to do quite a few videos on this over the coming days, what the future looks like in relation to cryptocurrency. So let's actually do a little bit of market analysis. The FTSE, we're seeing a bit of a downturn. This is we know we've got the new variant popping up all over the place now. In the UK, they've kind of gone into a bit of a pandemonium about it. It's almost like they've kind of come out and said, brace yourself, essentially. They're starting to cancel certain things, and people are really worried that we're going to enter a new lockdown. Even if we do enter a lockdown, guys, and I'm not suggesting that, you know, just remember, we've got a lot of really interesting content coming on Bitcoin, like covering the super cycle, where we're at, you know, everything, and why this structure over here is actually quite bullish. I'm going to show you why that is. But remember that March 2020, this big crash here, when we did first go into a lockdown, was the most bullish event that could have possibly taken place for Bitcoin. It actually saw us outperform last year's cycle, or 2017's bull run, which is the first time that we've actually outperformed a previous bull run to date. So, you know, you've got to take everything as it comes in life. As long as you have done your due diligence in what you're investing in, as long as you know what's actually going on here, other than Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, you know, you'll be fine. That's honestly what I think. I am all in crypto. I'm taking that risk for a reason, and it is a risk. There's nothing in life is guaranteed, guys. We're starting to invalidate a lot of plans. You know, Plan B stock to flow got invalidated. This is a little tweet from him. I don't think 69k was the top for this halvening cycle. If 69k were the top, then a typical bear market minus 80% drawdown would bring the bottom to 14k, below 2017's all-time high 20k, and below the 200 WMA, W moving average, 18k. Nah, that has never happened, and in my opinion, will never happen. So he's saying that we can't invalidate a previous, where are we? This is a Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory. We can't go lower than a previous high, basically, for the bull run. That's not happened today, and he doesn't believe that that's going to happen. And I agree with him. You know, I think that this 4-year cycle theory plays out, but on a smaller scale. And the reason it continues to play out is because we have a halvening for Bitcoin every 4 years. It's what drives this 4-year cycle theory. But I think we enter more of an uptrend with less pullbacks as we get more mature of a market cap. And that's due to more liquidity, bigger market cap, and there needing to be a higher volume of funds to move it in such a volatile manner. You know, I think the game has changed essentially because crypto is now becoming an established asset class. And like I say, please go and look at the congressional hearing and everything that was spoke about in there. And you can really see that, you know, Bitcoin, people are going to risk off in a risky environment. And with the new variant and all the uncertainty, people don't know what the Fed's going to do. Are they going to up interest rates, which have a negative effect on markets? People are going to risk off. They're going to sort of sit on the sidelines to see what direction this takes, which isn't a bad thing because, you know, like I say, all these threats to tackle inflation, even if we do enter, say, another lockdown, these were all actually very positive things for Bitcoin. And of course, tackling inflation up in interest rates perhaps wouldn't be, because it would take away a lot of liquidity on the table to throw into financial markets, and crypto is a financial market, albeit speculative. But, you know, they can't stop inflation. It's empty threat, ladies and gentlemen. What they can do is squeeze emerging nations and give them a higher rate of inflation to make them look like they're not as inflated. But it's here to stay, and this is why Bitcoin was created. This is Satoshi's vision, giving the people a lifeboat, if you will, from the monetary systems. It was Ludwig von Mises. I'm a big fan of Austrian economics. Certainly, you know, I'm a big fan of Ludwig. And he essentially said that it's only the government that can take a perfectly valuable commodity such as paper and make it useless, worthless. And he's absolutely correct. So that's what we're seeing going on. So we are going to keep you up to date daily. We did these, certainly not last week, but the prior week, we were giving these updates daily. I'd like to continue to do that, where we cover everything finance, uncertainty in the markets. You know, we've got the FTSE. I'll quickly pull up the DXY. So that we can have a little look at that. Uncertainty in this as well. I think the DXY is actually going to gain quite a bit of strength, but I think we'll see Bitcoin go up with it. And I think the reason the DXY is going to gain strength is because emerging markets, smaller nations, are going to get weak in comparison with the DXY. When you do kind of Forex analysis, Forex is the biggest market out there. You know, you can see that the dollar reigns supreme, and it's the kind of market that dictates all markets, if you will. But we will get into that. So no bear market here, guys. Just higher highs and higher lows. We're going to continue in that trend, in my opinion. Crypto is yet to be adopted. Seeing the fruits of that with the congressional hearing gives you a real sense of where this is going and why you should be excited. I've never been so excited. Yes, we're invalidating models. Yes, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty. What was the fear and greed index the other day, actually? 16. I mean, the fear and greed index was 16. And look at the big term view. Certainly for Ethereum, the fear and greed index was at 16. And look at where Ethereum is. Welcome to crypto social media, crypto YouTube. Welcome to all these funny faces in the thumbnails, etc., etc. Be careful who you listen to out there, guys, because it only takes a very small amount of basic knowledge in the crypto space to tell who is of any kind of credibility and who isn't. And I'm not hating on anybody or throwing shade. I would never personally name anybody, but there's a lot of garbage out there. You know, and you've got to watch who you listen to, because people don't understand what's going on here. All they understand is, you know, how to make YouTube videos. So that is really all I have for you in this video. This is just a short and sweet update. We're going to do these daily. If you appreciate them, please let me know, and it will kind of promote me to do more, I guess. I think Bitcoin, and I'm going to let you in on a video that we're going to cover very recently. This structure over here is playing out again over here, ladies and gentlemen. And look at what that led to. Are we going to see the same thing arise? Are we going to see a spot ETF come to fruition? You know, there's so much going on. We're so early as a space, and that's why there's this shaky kind of nature to it. You know, hang in there. Wisdom Tree amend Bitcoin ETF application, naming US Bank as custodian. We will get a spot Bitcoin ETF. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. It absolutely is. And that is really a green light for these big players to start ramping up. If you look at Bitcoin in terms of accumulation, the whales continue to accumulate. The people that lose money in this market are people that don't know what they're talking about, and not don't know what they're talking about. Let me retract that statement. The people who are new to the space haven't been here for long enough to understand that this is very volatile and get shaken out with these big moves, and they listen to perhaps the wrong people on YouTube. I'm not saying I'm the right one. That's for you guys to make your own decision up. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Lots of uncertainty. We're going to cover you as this all unfolds. We are going to make a video on Evergrande. Evergrande's back. I just wish they'd get it over and done with now. We made a long thread on my Twitter. I'll see if I can find it very quickly. It was a long time ago. We've covered a lot of on-chain data for crypto as well, and it's all very strong, and it shows that the illiquid supply continues to grow, and there's a lot less Bitcoin on exchanges than there's previously been. Meanwhile, the price goes down, and that's due to liquidity as well, making these markets very volatile. But we did do a very long thread on Evergrande where we essentially said, look, Evergrande 100% is going to fail. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. So that's really all I have for you guys. I can't quite find this. We will cover it in another video. One of my favorite memes here, Alex Jones talking about ETF. The elite don't want you to know this, but ETFs are free and you can screenshot them. I own 458 of them. He's almost got a point there. That meme has a little bit of truth in it. So that's really all I have for you in this video, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Remember, there's a lot going on globally. This is all going to have a swaying effect on our markets. But ultimately, you know, when you really dive into what the value proposition with Bitcoin is, what the value proposition with some of these cryptocurrencies are, they've never been so needed. There's never been such a sort of time in history where this has been the point where we need this technology, and that hasn't changed regardless of what the macroeconomic landscape is, which of course causes liquidity to be moreish or lessish. So hang on, guys. Crypto's the future. We're here to stay. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Remember, we do have the Cardano stake pool. ALLIN is the ticker. You can join us on Yoroi and Deadless. ALLIN Crypto. ALLIN is, of course, the ticker. We are minting blocks frequently now, guys. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next YouTube video. We've got a video coming out later on in relation to Cardano. Well worth a watch, guys, because we've been here before, and I'm going to show you what that led to. People are buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. But the real dip is on a macro scale, and you are buying that dip. I'm going to love and leave you on that note, guys. Have a fantastic Monday, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video.